So how can we consider the entire question in an integrated way? I think that will be presented by Professor Shukuya. Altogether, the slides are written in English. So the foreign guests, can you look at the slides on the screen and listen to the translator? The time given to me is only 10 minutes, so details I cannot make any presentation. So only the salient points I would like you to understand. Already you are seeing it says exergetic view. Why not energetic view, but exergetic view? You may be wondering. To be exact, when it comes to energy problem, it's not a problem. It is going back to the physics law. There is a law of preservation. So in order to identify things, you have to have a different concept. If you follow this, Exergy is a different concept. Using Exergy, if you look into the various things, you will go to the root of any item. In the morning session and in David's presentation just now, he talked about timber. So architectural space is something that is being created. So it is the thermal well-being for humans. That is something that I want to attain. Especially for non-experts, I want to share this. Suppose that your life is 90 years. Every day, 24 hours, 90% is spent within the building. So 90 times 0.9. So more than 80 years, you are spending your time inside the building. So if building is not solid, then your life will become unhappy. So let's look at this relationship solidly. This is thermal dynamics and the construction I have looked into. So in a sheet of paper, this is the way that I describe my activities. This is Earth, man, and then cities and regional and global environments. So there is sun, and because of the blessing of the sun, you are enjoying your life. But make no mistake, this arrow in a spatial universe, heat is radiated, purged, and then the 15 degrees is maintained on the surface of Earth, and we can maintain the system surrounding humans. So this flow is important. How do we ride on this flow? This is something that has to be resolved technically. To that end, there are passive technologies and active technologies. Active technology, for the last 100 years, it has grown gigantically, and we receive the blessing of that, and we can make this kind of slides. But passive technology from the nascent period of mankind, we have passive technology, but it leads into diversity. Passive versus active. It sounds abstract and philosophical, maybe difficult to understand. But sailing yacht versus motorboat. So if you create your own words, you will understand the concept. So please try to explain in your own words passive versus active technology. Both technologies are important. First of all, the last two lines very important. Advanced renewed passive technology has a lot of priority. Without this, you can't really make a solid environment. If that is solidly made, then active technology that suits to passive technology has to be created. So regarding this point, we are very much behind, because in the last 100 to 100 years, active technology was the main driver. So active technology suiting to passive technology was not developed. Conversely put, opportunity is there in the coming 50 to 100 years. There are so many things that we can do. I'm 65 years of age, so remaining 50 to 100 years I have to live, otherwise I can't really fulfill my premise. So especially I say this to young people, please make a challenge. So you see, we learned many things. Why did we have this situation in Fukushima? You have to think very solidly, and you have to consider next technology. So relationship between man and environment and thermal thermodynamics. I learned a lot. I will not talk about details. Human body. What is the structure of human body? You have to look into that. In the morning, we talked about energy. It can be resolved by the concept of exergy. Human body structure is something that you have to understand. Why do we need insulation? Mankind, in the process of evolution, we have changed, and that must be understood. There is one interesting thing. This is the picture of skin. So you feel warm and cold. So there are two different nervous systems identifying coldness. So sensors sensing the coldness is concentrated closer to the surface. And then there are a lot of nerves per square centimeters, 6 to 23 portals. This is feeling cold. And 3 portals per square centimeters, it is sensing warm. So we are in the process of evolution. This is what we have. What is exergy? In 10 minutes, it's not possible to explain to you. So essence of essence, I will talk about it. This is energy calculation. 20-liter tank and 5-liter tank. You have 2 tanks. Big tank, it is raised to 40 degrees, and the 5 liters are 20 to 100 degrees Celsius. It is 4 times as high, but the volume is 1/4. In talking about energy, both of it has 1,674 kilojoule of energy. So energy explains everything. If so, this has to be explain everything. So your right hand put on the right-hand tank when you go to take baths. It feels very comfortable. The left hand should go to the lower left. You can't do it. I mean, you will burn. So energy concept alone cannot explain everything. Talking about exergy, details I can't talk about it, but actually exergy can explain everything. The resource performance and resource capability can be explained by exergy. So illumination, heating and cooling can be explained. What is the human structure, human body structure, everything can be explained. One after another, I turned every stone in trying to explain everything in the last 20 years. So what I found out, I'd like to, so I have time until 3 o'clock. 5 minutes is enough to explain what I found.
でエネルギーっていうのはちょっと足りないところがあるってお分かりになったと思うんですけども、エクセルギーっていうのはこの二次曲線みたいなの書いてあるので、環境の温度に対して温度が高いものも温度が低いものもそれなりの資源性が価値を持っているというふうな計算ができるんですね。でエネルギーの方と環境に対して温度が低い方はエネルギー不足となるんです。で高い方だったらエネルギー。夏だったらね
high energy in the summertime. Lack of energy is thankful. The ice water glass, it's cold because it lacks energy. And then you call it cold heat. Cold heat. And heat is heat. So you combine these two words. You feel that the ice will melt and water will become warmer. If you ask this question to elementary kids, they will try to explain. But when it comes to adults, we say that we understand it. But I don't think we adults understand it. It has to be explained very solidly and firmly, and that is done by Exergy. Exergy will explain everything.
エクセルギーは消費ということをきちっと表すことができて、実は摩擦を起こすとかそういうことが実は消費なんですね。僕らは何かいろいろ活動するときに仕事が必要なんですけども、必ず摩擦が起きます。それが実はエクセルギーの消費ということで、それをなるべく減らしたい。だけどゼロにできないですね。という話になっていって、そういうことで
So, that being the case,
人間の体が冬に
human body
どんな環境だったらいいのか
consumption
と
rate
いうこともエクセルギ
and
ーでいろいろ
thermal
評価することが
environment
できる
in
ので
winter must be
例えばこんな図でいろん
elucidated.
なこ
For
とを表
example,
現で
this
き
is
る
the
と
chart that you can look
横は
at
ですね
various
ミーン
situations.
レディエン
Axis,
テンペーチャーって書いてますけど
mean
例えばこ
radiant
の部屋で
temperature. For example,
天
in
井
this
や
room,
壁窓
ceiling,
がそれの
wall,
全体の平
windows,
均温
and
度
the
と
overall mean temperature
で
is
縦軸
plotted.
の方は
The
エクセルギーコン
ordinate
サンプションレートって書いてますけど人間
Exergy
の体の
consumption
中で
rate
の
within the
エクセルギ
human
ー消費
body,
なんですけ
Exergy
ども
consumption is
熱
plotted.
的なストレスと思ってください
Just call it the thermal stress.
値が大きかったらばそ
So
のストレス
value
がか
is
かってくる
greater, then it is stressed greatly. It is stressed
温度が
greatly.
低いとストレ
So
スが高い
temperature low, stress is
だか
high.
らみんな暖房すると
So you
普
heat
通
the
ストーブとか
space.
エアコンでやり
So
空気の
stove
温度を上
and
げます
air
ね
conditioning and
当
the
然部屋の
air
温度が
temperature
上
is
がってきますけ
raised.
ども
So room temperature rises.
もしその
But
壁の平均温度が
if the
低いま
wall
ま
mean
だとす
temperature
る
remains
と
low,
下がっていくとしてもまあ
then
わずかなです
the
だけど
reduction is
断
only
熱をちゃ
a
んとする
little.
と
But if
実はこの
insulation
横
is
軸
done
が
very strongly,
もう
the
すぐ20度ぐらいになる
horizontal
あるいは
axis will
25
easily
度近く
reach
なるということ
20 or
がちゃん
25
とできるって話
degrees. You can do it
今日の午前中の
easily.
話は
In the morning
僕はそこが大事
session,
だというふうに
that point was very
そう
important
す
in
る
my
と
understanding.
熱的なストレスも
So
ど
the
んどんどんどん
thermal
小さくなる
stress will become smaller
それで
and
20度から
smaller.
25
So
度の間で見
20
て
to
ください
25
4
in
つの種類
between.
のプロッ
There
トがあって
are
青
4
逆三
clocks.
角白抜きの
So
上三角
cut triangles in a different way, red
20度から
circles and
22度
cross,
23度ぐらいになると
22, 23 degrees, and then the 4 plots are there, and they are all air temperature. Air temperature becomes irrelevant. In other words, surface temperature has to be raised, and electric heater it's foolish to do it by electric heater alone, so you have to have good insulation. If you do the insulation thermally, you have a comfortable environment. Even earthquake happens and electricity is not available, but you can survive if insulation is very good. That it should be the infrastructure that should be built going forward. Green line is the energy conservation law based expression. Wall temperature, air temperature can be combined in different ways, and then energy must be preserved. Then, in Exergy terms, it follows. Once again, insulation and taking in sun radiation, very important. You will understand it. Why? The surface temperature rises on the wall. A lot of radiant Exergy will come, and it will reduce the human body Exergy consumption. You don't have to study Exergy. People feel comfortable basking in the sunlight because human body Exergy becomes small. That's why we naturally know that it's comfortable. In summertime too, almost the same thing can be said. In the case of summer, you have a fan, and air temperature is very important, but the velocity of the wind is also important. If velocity is higher, the surface temperature of the wall doesn't have to be reduced, but if it is above 30 degrees, it doesn't work. So you have to have a shade, and you have to have a good insulation on the wall. We gradually understand that. If you find that, if you have a good insulated space, ventilation becomes easier, and then the human body stress will be reduced. So much so we understand.
いろんなところを観察してみると、
So
そういうことをみんな知ってるんですよね。
clearly, people understand that.
日陰のところで
If you go
新
to
聞を読
shade and then you can read newspaper,
む、よく風が通ってやっぱり
or
日よけ
you
がある
can
ところ
enjoy
で
the
おしゃべり。
breeze and you can have a
だから断
pleasant
熱、
chat.
遮熱、
So
そういったことが基本だっていうこと
preventing the
が、
sun ray
まあ
and insulation,
当たり前だと
very
思われるかもしれませんけど、
basics. You may
エクセ
take
ルギー
it
的なところを
no
もう一回
brainer,
見てみると、
but
やっぱりそういうふうになっていて、
it is
そういうところが
explainable
大事
from the
で、
concept.
日よけ、通
So
風、
shade,
窓をきちっと開ける。
ventilation,
だけどそれ
opening
は
the windows,
断熱、それから気密っていうことがきちっと
and
取れるように。
airtightness and insulation have to be secured very clearly, and it has to be combined with that.
そういう話に。
So that's the
そ
topic.
れでこれでやりますけれど
So
も、
I will stop
僕
here.
は最後に3つ
This
書い
is
てありま
the
すけど、
concluding remarks.
3つのシーズっていうのが大事だというふう
Three
にちょっと思っ
C's,
てい
very
て、
important. Let us keep in mind the following three C's: consistency, sufficiency, and efficiency.
地
Consistency,
球
what
に
is
備わ
it?
っている仕組みにちゃんと
The Earth
習っていきま
mechanism
しょう。
should be followed.
それから どれぐらいが十分なのか。
What is sufficient?
こんなに電気がいるんだからたくさ
So
ん
much
PV パネルを
electricity
重な
is
るべよ。
needed, so we have to have hundreds of TV panels. No, that's not the way. We should have something equivalent.
それからエフィシェンシーです。
And then
効率はいい
efficiency.
方がいいに決まってるん
Efficiency,
ですけ
the
ども、
better
でも
efficiency, the better
ほどほどのところの
outcome.
効率で
But
うまくい
there
くこ
is
と
an
だってあります
appropriate
よ。
efficiency which
それは
produces
断熱がその
appropriate good
きちっと
things.
すると
That is,
そういう
if
ことになる。
insulation is very
そうす
good,
ると
appropriate level of efficiency will be good enough. So new technology going forward is multifarious. There will be so numerous technologies invisible. We can't see
で
it
そういうことは
now.
特に若い方々
So Exergy is something which I would like the young people to consider with me. Thank you very much.